Welcome back to the second bit of the show today. We are just talking about mental health, and we agree that we are putting it so simple and simplistic in a manner that you can easily understand. We will not talk about huge terms and what have you. We're just going to make it very simple so that it doesn't look like we are demystifying a very huge mystery. Mental health is here with us, and we cannot run away from it. We just have to find solutions on how to deal with it. Just before we end on the break, we're just talking about the remedies or the wrongful remedies that young people use. I've watched, and Kevin was telling me off air that there's so many young people who post on their status on WhatsApp and Facebook and what have you that I'd rather do to relieve stress than allow stress to kill me. Others are like, let me go party so that I can reduce the stress. Others are like, let me go have quote unquote wild relationships so that I could go reduce stress and what have you. But you know what you're doing is just simply postponing. These are not remedies. These are wrongful approach to this issue. So, Kevin.
Yes.
Short-term stroke wrongful remedies. What effect do they have?
So many of them. And maybe just to touch on them.
Okay.
You find that as a youth, when you are so stressed, you want to go and take that bang. You want to go and party with friends. And these are friends, sorry to say, these are friends that you haven't even examined. You don't even know about their backgrounds, you know. But because you're so stressed and you feel like you need to go out with someone and the support system is not there for you, instead of going out with your neighbor, that good neighbor, with your siblings, you feel like it's right to go out with friends, you know. And then, or because you're so stressed, you feel like I should jumping into a relationship.
Wow.
You understand that? So relationships are many, including that one that you're thinking about right now. So I would say that these are not the right approach to, or the right remedy to dealing with mental health. In fact, these are very harmful remedies that can ruin your life in a very short span of time. Yeah.
Wow. So, do you want to ruin your life, or do you want a solution? Please don't jump into that party. You don't even know how it was planned. And with the curfew and lockdown, I know nowadays there are so many house parties that are going on around the city. And the young people are being lured into these things. Perhaps you're saying your parents are stressing you back at home, so you need an escape route. Well, you're killing your destiny. You're much more better than the house party. You're much more better than the group sex that you want to engage in. Remember, you're a child of God, and He loves you just the way you are. Yes, He does. Definitely does. So you have to find a way, but not the wrong way. Remember, we said there is always the right way. That is why I'm coming back to you now.
Yes.
So what are the rightful ways to deal with stress? And I want us to dwell on this much, because now this is where the meat, or rather the rubber meets the road.
The road, okay.
Yes.
The first solution,
yes,
and of course the best one, is to identify a support system.
Identify a support system.
Identify a support system which you are comfortable with. It's unfortunate that some of us are orphans. We don't have those parents who can act as our support systems. But I know back at home you have that guardian, you have that neighbor, you have those cousins, you have those uncles, you know, the extended members of your family. These are people you can talk to.
But allow me to cut you. You know,
yes,
a young man has just come to Nairobi.
Yes.
He has been admitted to Nairobi University. He's a first-year student. All the cousins are somewhere in Kwale.
Yes.
The uncles, they don't even know where Nairobi is. He's so much stressed at prefabs. Prefabs is one of the hostels in Nairobi University.
Yeah.
And he's wondering, you're telling me to go and look for the cousins and the uncles and what have you. Do we have any other support system that can be immediate?
Yeah, of course, I said support system are not only people, but also activities that you can do when you feel like you are so stressed. Let me ask you, Collins, how many times have you ever felt so tired or felt so stressed, maybe because of something, you're from work, you feel so much worn out. Then you get into your house, then you turn on that woofer and you dance seriously, then after that you take a shower and you feel okay. How many times? People do that, and that is a remedy, you know? That is a support system. A support system is that thing that you do passionately, that you do as in without any compulsion. No one is compelling you to do it, you know. As a writer, as Calvin, for example, if I feel so stressed, I should take a piece of paper or my laptop, sketch something, even if it doesn't make sense. Why? Because it is going to keep me busy and keep me distracted from that thing that caused the stress to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you just brought up a new twist to it.
Yes.
Keep me busy.
Keep me busy.
But in the midst of keeping me busy, I think I also need to do a lot of due diligence.
Yes.
Because some other things can keep me busy.
Yes. Okay, fine. Some other things can keep you busy, fine. I understand. You can go and party to keep yourself busy. But now, it takes a personal examination. It takes that personal...
The self-introspection bit.
Introspection. Yeah, introspect yourself and ask yourself, is this the right time, the right thing for me to do with this time I have? You know, doing something that it doesn't mean you're doing anything. Don't just do something for the sake of doing anything. Do that thing that you feel is going to relieve you from the stress or from the depression that you are going through for that time. Or be with that person whom you think is going to help you get distracted or is going to kind of provide a solution, however temporary, to that problem that you are undergoing through.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if you're just tuning in, we are talking matters mental health among young people. And with me today is Calvin. Calvin is a writer. He's so passionate about matters mental health. And he's also a researcher and communication specialist. What is coming out clearly is that you need a support system. And I mean, we can talk everything else, but if there's no support system, we may not hit the nail on the head. So support system does not simply mean that you need to have a person. You can have an activity. You can even have an institution like the church. And I will be so much biased towards the church. Because I know while in church you can identify brethren, you can identify sisters who can work with you, who can talk to you. Look for somebody like, let's say, a prayer partner. And let us stick to the word prayer partner. Let us not have any other hidden meanings and connotations when it comes to prayer partners. We're simply speaking prayer. And look for somebody who can work with. Somebody perhaps was gone ahead of you, somebody who is your peer and is well versed on matters of stress management and what have you. Because people have stories. People have stories. They just like people to listen to them. So perhaps you may think you're going through the worst scenario, the worst thing. Then you share your story and you realize yours is just a walk in the park. So find that support system. Calvin,
Absolutely.
you've talked about the support system.
Yes.
What are the solutions?
The second solution we have is that now for the young people, they need safe spaces.
Safe spaces.
Safe spaces, very key. If you realize, you'll find that the youth mostly want to spend time where there are more youths than where there are more adults. Why? Because they think that where there are adults, they are not free to talk about themselves. They are not free to talk about their problems. They are not free to talk about their dreams. You know, that safe space. Now, if in terms of safe space, I think just as you said, with the American space, there is a very great safe space. And lately I've been giving the youth there a chance to come there just to talk about themselves. Let them come and exploit that artistic skills that they have, the creative skills. Let them come there. We do have a conversation there. And I get to learn a lot from those young people, because there are things that they are not comfortable saying in the church, in school, or in the household, from homes they come from, or even in the workplace. But when they come there, actually they speak a lot of it. Why? Because they feel safe there.
So I like the idea of a safe space. And in another life, I work with GBVs and what have you. And we have so many safe spaces in the city and what have you. And there's so many houses which are called safe space.
Yeah.
But I want to fix my eyes on the church. And you know, you've been in this safe space thing for, I think, 4 years now.
Yeah.
For 4 years, yes. So how do you think that maybe the church can create a safe space? What are some of the things that the church can do so that they can have these so-called safe spaces for young people, where the young people can feel comfortable?
Yeah, I believe so many churches or places of worship, just like the church I go to, have departmentals, right?
Yes, yes.
We have the youth department. Actually, that can be used as the best ever safe space, because give the youths a chance to practice themselves. Let them practice their passions. Let them practice their skills there within the church. I mean, when do you want to bring up a pastor, a future bishop, if you don't allow the youth to use that church, the church facilities, to practice all these skills? We want to see churches coming up with, let's say, halls or rooms or even programs that calls on the youth every Sunday or even once in a month or twice in a month. Hey, come and do this program at the church facility, you know. With that, the youth will feel so much welcome. They will think of a church as a home. They will think of a church as a place to be, rather than just calling them on a Saturday or a Sunday or a Friday to preach to them, then release them to go home. You're not helping them. Let them come, even over the weekdays. Let them find that space. Let them interact with themselves. Let them interact with that spiritual expert. Let them get a mentor at the church who talks to them. Let them get that person they can trust with their problems. They can share. I think that is a safe space.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. And this is a challenge to young person watching us right now. The church has a youth department. People are called for activities. There are prayers that are going on. There are meetings that are happening maybe monthly or every 2 weeks for the young people. Like now, people are called on Zoom and what have you. Are you taking part? Or you want to die with your stress? Of course, we speak life to you. You will not die. But we beseech you to come forth and take part in these safe spaces in the church. Work with the youth department, work with the youth pastors and all other pastors in the church, so that at the end of the day, these safe spaces are utilized. They are for you. That is why churches have youth departments, so that you can be brought up. As Kevin puts it, the future pastor might just be you. You may never know it until you go out and be part of that safe space in the youth department. Wow. So we've talked of, we're just narrowing down on the solutions.
Yes.
And we've had the support system. We have the safe space. Do we have a third solution?
A third solution, I just go back to employment. The third solution to mental health is just employ yourself.
Employ yourself.
Employ yourself. Don't wait to be employed.
But people are saying, I don't have capital.
No.
I don't have
You don't need capital to employ yourself.
And I don't have network.
Let me the people, they say so.
Yeah.
But now what I mean is employing yourself. Look at yourself. Start by yourself. How many gifts do you have?
I don't know. Maybe
the gift of life.
Maybe I don't.
The gift
know.
of life.
Okay.
The fact that you're alive today, that is a gift.
Yes.
I
agree.
The fact that you are mentally
Stable.
That's a gift. You know, the fact that you went to school, whether primary school level, that's a gift. The fact that you have your hands, your legs, your eyes to see, your brain to think, those are gifts. So many gifts, uncountable. So how are you using your gifts? These things that God have trusted you with. I know you've ever walked along the streets and met someone who doesn't even have hands or legs, but you have. How are you using that leg? Are you using it to kick people around? Are you using your hands to punch people around, you know? How are you using that? Employ yourself. Another gift is time. You have time, 24 hours every day, 24. Are you even spending half of your day doing the right thing? Ask yourself that. That is the employment that I'm talking about. And you know, so many people fear, especially the young people, this young generation. I watched a video by Jackson Mandago, the governor was in Gishu. He was saying that hii tamaa ya kukua tajiri haraka tuachane nayo. At the age of 22, you want to own a Range Rover. A Range Rover is worth 22 million, you know. So you want to tell us that you've been earning 1 million since your first birthday.
Is it wrong?
It's not wrong.
I get the point.
It's not wrong. But the tamaa that will lead you to do wrongful things, the shortcut, you know, could be your parents were well off. They've bought you that as a gift or because you deserve or anything. But now, you as someone whose parents were not even financially stable, is it good to go through shortcuts? That should not be the case. Ask yourself, and he said, Mandago said, ask yourself, these people, how old are they? What kind of businesses are they doing? You know, then you go back to the drawing board. Look at your salary, the salary you earn. Is it worth a Range Rover? And now that brings me to anxiety. Anxiety is also a major cause of mental health problems among the young people. We live an anxious life. We want to have, yet we don't want to make the effort of having. Let me get back to employment. Employ your time, that time that you have, 24 hours every day. You are healthy, 24 hours each and every day. What are you doing? You know, try to do something voluntarily. You never know who is watching. And I want to tell you something, by the way. A day before, I think that was on Monday, I was going somewhere. Then I went, I went to board a motorbike.
Okay.
Then the guy told me, but I saw you somewhere. You know, I saw you somewhere. Can you please remove your mask so that I be sure it's you. Then I removed my mask. Oh, it's you. And then I asked the guy, where did you see me? I saw you doing something very interesting. And actually, I love that thing. How can I do it, you know? So that just tells you, you never know who is watching whatever it is that you're doing for free. I'm saying for free. People think that anything that doesn't give you money is a free thing. It is not a free thing. And if you hate free things, then you should hate your life, because that life you have is free.
It's free. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. If you hate free things, then you should hate your life, because the life you're given for free. And the person who gave you that life has never demanded anything from you. Yes.
Youth,
yes, to the young people.
To the young people. Just number one is that they should find something to do.
Find something to do.
A rightful thing to do.
Yes.
I mean, employ that time that you have rightfully.
And by the way, I've realized you've really talked on the issue of employee time.
I know, because so many people, we waste a lot of time.
We waste a lot.
Doing nothing. Doing nothing. you don't even remember that basic CRE knowledge that you were taught in church, how to spend your leisure time visiting the sick. Are you even using it for that? You see, you want to spend your time on the social media, posting yourselves naked, sorry to say, you know. So employ that free time that you have. Make sure you have the right support system. And support system doesn't necessarily have to be a member of your family. Maybe you are unlucky to have, you don't have even a support system. You don't even have a family, that is. But how do you identify the right people to share your stories with, you know? Identify that right person. Take your time to get to know whether a person is right or not. But another problem is that we tend to rush. I meet Collins today, tomorrow we are friends. We start sharing, you know. Having not known who Collins, the kind of a person Collins is. Take your time, identify the right support system, and also learn to listen to yourself. Know what yourself want, whatever yourself want to do passionately. Please employ yourself doing that thing that you yourself want to do passionately without any compulsion. Yeah.
Finally, as we close the show, in just like 1 minute or so, I want you to look at camera here where my good brother Dan Wanzala, Uncle Daddy is. I just talked to that young man, that young girl who is watching us right now, how to come out of that stressful situation in just a simple way, in just like 2 lines or something.
First of all, thank you for watching the session. And as a young person, I know you are going through different things from mine. Whatever it is that you're going through are different from mine or the same in one way or the other. But number one,